To one and all, myself Dr. S.K.Sarsamkar, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Humanities and Sciences, Walchand Institute of Technology, Solapur. So our today's topic is fuel cell learning outcomes. At the end of this session, students will be able to explain the principle, construction and working of fuel cell. Fuel cell. Fuel cell is an electrochemical device that converts chemical energy directly into electrical energy through electrochemical process. For example, if we use hydrogen, butane, gasoline, methane, diesel like fuels, they combines with oxygen and they produces energy. As they produces energy by electrochemical process, they are termed as a fuel cell. What is the principle behind this fuel cell? So naturally, hydrogen and oxygen, when they are mixed together in presence of enough activation energy, they have natural tendency to react and form a water. This happens because the Gibbs free energy of water is very much small than that of the individual sum of hydrogen and oxygen added together. So, water molecule formation becomes more easy in presence of catalyst. If hydrogen and oxygen were combined directly, we would see combustion, that is hydrogen and half of the oxygen molecule, they reacts with each other and they forms a water molecule. So combustion involves the direct reaction between the hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. Here in this case, the hydrogen donates electrons, that is it undergoes oxidation and it loses its electrons, whereas the oxygen accepts these electrons. So hydrogen gets converted into H plus ions and oxygen is accepting the electrons released from the hydrogen and they combines with each other, that is hydrogen ion and oxygen ions, they combines with each other, they forms a water molecule. This combustion reaction releases heat energy. So the reaction at two different half cells occurs likewise. At anode, hydrogen dissociates to form two H plus ions plus 2 electrons. At cathode, oxygen accepts 4 electrons in presence of protons and it gives us water molecule. Activation polarization. Activation polarization is caused by the energy intensive activity of making and the breaking of a chemical bonds. See, at the anode, what happens? The hydrogen molecules enters the reaction sites and breaks into the ions and electrons. The resulting ion forms bond with catalyst atoms and the electrons remains in the vicinity until new hydrogen molecule starts bonding with the catalyst, breaking the bond between the earlier ions. The electrons migrates through the bipolar plate if the bonding energy of the ion is low enough and the ions diffuse through the electrolyte. At cathode, oxygen molecules are broken up and react with electrons from the anode and the protons that diffused through the electrolyte forms water. Water is then ejected as a waste product. Well, this is the diagrammatic representation to explain the construction and working of this particular fuel cell. So this consists of inlet for hydrogen. it consists of again inlet for oxygen and outlet for water molecules. Inside this, the electrodes are provided. These are covered by means of a catalyst like platinum. In actual practice, hydrogen enters inside. It reaches to the electrode which is plated by means of a platinum catalyst. The adsorption occurs. Hydrogen starts giving H plus ions and electrons. The electrons are migrating from external circuit towards the oxygen electrode, and hydrogen ions, these are moving towards the oxygen electrode through the electrolyte. Electrons, when they are reached on oxygen electrode, oxygen accepts this electron and gets converted into oxide ions. So, here the H plus ions and O minus minus ions, that is hydrogen ion and oxygen ions, they combines with each other and they forms a water molecule. This is released from this outlet for a water molecule. A typical fuel cell has a fuel oxidant system. It has anode and cathode electrode, both coated with catalyst and electrolyte. Hydrogen as a fuel enters the fuel cell at anode, where platinum catalyst causes the hydrogen to split into hydrogen ions and negatively charged electrons. The hydrogen ion reacts with hydroxyl ions in the electrolyte to form water, and the electron migrates through external circuit as they can't travel through electrolyte. At cathode, oxidant or oxygen enters and picks up the electrons coming from the external circuit and travels through electrolyte, where it combines with hydrogen ions. Oxide ion combines with hydrogen ion at anode and form water which drains out from the cell. So, what are the advantages of the fuel cell? First advantage, it has a high efficiency of energy conservation. It is about 70 to 80%. It has a constant efficiency at even low load. It is a clean energy system and does not produce any polluting exhaust. It is excellent substitute for the use of today's fossil fuels, hence saves the fossil fuels. Fifth, mostly byproduct is water and waste heat, which is environmentally friendly. Sixth one, low noise and less thermal pollution. Seventh, it has a low maintenance cost. Eighth, fuel cell performance is independent of the power plant size. Ninth, fast startup time for low temperature systems. 10th, the demand for variations in power and energy densities is easily met as required. Laptops, computers require low power density and high energy density, whereas automobile requires high power density, high energy density. Both can be powered by fuel cells. Disadvantages of fuel cells: high initial cost. Second, it has a high cost of hydrogen fuel. Third one, the storage is the problem. Hydrogen storage is costly. Hydrogen can be stored in lesser volume by liquefaction, but liquefaction itself requires 30% of the stored energy. Fourth one, lack of infrastructure for distributing hydrogen. Fifth one, lifetime of the cell is not yet accurately known. So these are the references I've used for preparation of this particular lecture. Thank you.